Greetings, and welcome to Sexy Voices of Hollywood with your hosts Robert Taylor and
Yayoi Winfrey.
Every other week on this show, we'll present another Sexy Voice of Hollywood.
This week's guest is Doug Crawford. Besides having a sexy Hollywood voice, Doug Crawford recently ranked in the top 20 Canadian musical artists nationwide.
You can find out more about Doug by checking out his website, DougCrawfordMusic.com. That link will be posted on our YouTube page, Sexy Voices of Hollywood. Welcome to the show, Doug.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you for coming on. So, Doug, congratulations on your most recent success of becoming one of Canada's top-selling musical artists and making it onto the official Nielsen SoundScan music charts. You've also had some other recent nominations and awards. In addition, you recently met with the rap group D12, opened for the group, and have been on a major tour. Another tour phase is set to begin. Tell us about that.
It was originally scheduled for the beginning of September. Now it's the third week of September. We're going to be doing 25 to 30 cities in the U.S., East Coast and West Coast, larger venues, and it'll end in Detroit, Michigan, which is supposed to be with Eminem.
Wow.
Wow, that's pretty amazing.
That's incredible. Remarkable, man.
So, how does it feel to have worked with the famous rapper Dub C? He's a well-known affiliate of NWA, Mad Circle, and Ice Cube's West Side Connection. What was that like?
It was honestly like a dream come true. I used to listen to him all through high school. He was one of my favorite rappers, and it was surreal for the first couple of days, and then after about day 9, day 10, I just was enjoying it and trying to tape it as much as I could, and actually learn from him a lot as well.
You're currently living in Canada, and I don't think you were born there. Can you kind of explain your birth circumstances, your citizenship, and where you're from and where you live now?
100%. I was born and raised in Los Angeles. I lived there until...
LA in the house.
That's right, LA.
Yeah, I lived there till about age 13. Then I moved to Canada, to Kelowna, BC, which is on the west coast, just in Canada. I lived there until about age 18. I went back to the U.S. I joined the U.S. military. I was in there for 3.5 years, and then went back to Canada, and now I live in Edmonton, Alberta. So I go back and forth between the two quite a bit. I have family on both sides. I'm a U.S. citizen. I just live in Canada.
Oh, okay. So that's something that's permissible with the Canadian government. That you can do that.
Yep.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I have what's called a PR card, a permanent resident card. So
Excellent.
So it's a pretty good situation. I can do everything except vote. So I still get health care and a lot of the benefits of being in Canada.
How does that factor culturally? Do you feel like you have to be somebody different in each place? Is there that much of a difference anymore?
No, not really at all. Other than the accent, I don't think that there is at all.
Wow. I know a lot of our fans, if they happen to be in the States, because, we do have fans around the world, they're probably somewhat envious of the Canadian healthcare system. So how does that, just kind of as an aside, how does that work exactly? Is it working out pretty well for you?
I've never had to pay for medical bill, and so in that aspect, yeah, it's great.
How are the wait times? I hear the wait times are, if you sprain your ankle, there could be some wait time, or is that just an urban legend?
No, it just depends on where you're located. If you go to a bigger city like Toronto, yeah, where we are here, you can get seen within 10, 15 minutes.
Very interesting.
Just like anywhere, the bigger the city, the more the wait.
Wow, never having to pay a single healthcare bill.
Amazing. Can't even imagine it.
Well, Doug, listen, earlier on in your musical career, and I want to focus on this because this is very important, you were affiliated with members of several different California and Washington State Crips sets, such as Acacia Block, West Coast Crips, and Hoover. Again, this is a very important aspect of your reputation that distinguishes you from a lot of rappers in the industry. It's how you originally proved your skills and how you got some of your start in the larger music business. You work with Young Chili, Boomer. Tell us how you first signed to AON Records and how being affiliated with a hardcore rap group back in the late 1990s had an impact on your career and how it helped shape you as an artist.
I don't think that I'd still be here if I hadn't gone through that phase and I hadn't met all those people. At the beginning, I was really just experimenting. They're really the ones that gave me the drive to do it real big time because I saw a lot of them, for instance, Chili and Boomer, that were doing things on a larger scale. They weren't recording at their house. They were recording in a studio, and they were using live instruments for beats and just doing things on a completely different level kind of opened my eyes.
Yeah, because now your style it's a lot more polished, it's stylish, laid back, and more mature. It's a lot different from your original style. Can you tell us something about the original Doug Crawford music in contrast to Doug Crawford's music of today?
I think before I was doing it more to prove something and to try to stand out. Now I just have fun with it and tell experiences that I've been through and stories that I've been through, and it's a lot easier for me to do it now than it was back then. It comes a lot more naturally. But I've been doing it for 10 years, right? So over time it just gets better and better.
A lot of the subject matter, I know you deal with a lot of relationships. You have a lot of relationships as the themes of your song and your content nowadays. Is that what we can expect from Doug Crawford, or does it vary?
No, it varies. I make dance music, I make club music, I make dubstep music, I make rock music, I make relationship music. That was just a period of time. The next album I have is completely different, and there's, I don't think, any songs like that on there, maybe one. So that was just a period of my life, but it'll always continue to evolve and change. I don't want to just be stuck in one bracket or one genre of music.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so currently you have performances with Maddie Poirier and the rap group Peep Game from Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, which is an all-black rap group. You, as a white male, seem to have a strong connection to and affinity with various African-American and African-Canadian communities. What causes you to gravitate towards the black community in general?
I just get along with them very well, and I can relate. I grew up in Los Angeles, so growing up as a kid in kindergarten, there was more black people than white people where I lived.
Oh, what community was that?
Fullerton.
Oh, okay, yeah, Fullerton.
So I'm curious, did you see racial and social injustices toward blacks, black African Americans, and other minority groups in the area of California where you lived when you were younger?
Yes.
And could you elaborate a little bit about that? What were your feelings at the time? How old were you? How did it impact your life, and how did it create the Doug Crawford and music that you generate to this day?
It's actually funny that you say that, because even like my dad and my grandfather weren't very pro-black, and it would bother me. My grandmother and my mother were the exact opposite, and I think, started having more black friends just specifically because of that, just because it bothered my dad. I just didn't agree with it, right?
Wow.
It's never bothered me ever since a kid, right? So it's even now I have more black friends than I do white friends.
That's fascinating.
Well, I don't know Fullerton really well, but I do know Los Angeles. As you know, I lived there for at least a decade, and there is a great amount of diversity. I think at this point there's a population of 19 million people, and it's very rare that you are in any scenario where there aren't a lot of different kinds of people around you, speaking different languages, coming from different cultures. So I would think that crossing over or crossing to other cultures is fairly common in a city that large, probably kind of like New York as well. So I'm always surprised to hear about people like your father and grandfather. Like, it's very difficult to live in these major urban areas and not border on other kinds of people, that it really is imperative for you to survive and live well to get to know everybody and, sort of hold hands with everybody. Those days of those smaller exclusive communities, those are over unless you want to go way out in the country somewhere. I think it's very admirable that you, your grandmother and mother all had very open minds about your surroundings and did reach out to other kinds of people.
For sure.
That said, Doug, do you see a difference with respect to how Canadian Africans are treated in Canada, obviously, in contrast to that of African Americans in the U.S.? Is there a difference? Is it about the same?
Here, I've never seen any of the things that I saw in the States. Here, everybody's equal. It doesn't matter what you are, there's no issues like that at all here.
So how does it work with you and Peep Game? What are the dynamics of the group and yourself? You're the frontline rapper. You recruited Peep Game. You've known Peep Game for how long?
About 10 years.
About 10 years. And Maddie Poirier, how does he fit into the equation?
He's my hype man. He comes to all my shows and backs up my songs. It's also a DJ sometimes, / photographer, helps me sell merch, kind of assistant manager. So he does a lot of different jobs.
Sounds like quite a cottage industry. The entire lineup that we've been discussing today on the air, this evening, depending on where people are in the world. We've got Doug Crawford, Maddie Poirier, Peep Game. You're working on projects with Dub C now, a legendary West Coast artist.
My album is out right now, One Day at a Time, which does feature Dub C. Peep Game's album will be released next month. Maddie P's album will be released sometime in December. Coal Miner's album is out in October, and Jane Doe in November. So we're just going to keep putting music out consistently, trying to do an album a month.
Fabulous.
I hate to harp on this race issue, but I would like to know, did your relationship relationships with the African American community or black community then propel you into black music, or was it the other way around? Did you first become aware of hip-hop, rap, R&B, and then you sort of embrace the community? Just curious.
Oh, actually, I started liking Michael Jackson at first when all that happened, right? And then the next thing that came out was NWA that I heard that I liked. And I just actually heard it on the radio, Power 106, right? So like,
yeah, I used to listen to that.
So like as a kid, Ice Cube, Dr. Dre, all that stuff was on the radio regularly there.
Yeah, that was Big Boy, right? On Power 106,
Yeah.
Big Boy, yeah. So what's next for Doug Crawford?
I have my new album out. It's called One Day at a Time. You can find it any online source, iTunes, Amazon, Napster. It's in 150 countries and 29 languages. It features Dub C. I've got a song by Bruno Mars as well. 15 tracks that I put a lot of time and effort into. DougCrawfordMusic.com. You can check out all the videos. Doug Crawford on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, MySpace.
That's superb. You've covered all bases, and we look forward to these new releases of yours, from you, new material from all the artists you're working with. Doug, it's been a pleasure as always. I want to thank you for being on the show. And by the way, you know the drill, brother. You do, you do have a sexy voice.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, that's it, folks. And please join us next time for another Sexy Voices of Hollywood.